Good afternoon. Well, we met our goal for the week. Our goal was to win the game. It wasn't pretty. Kansas did some things that got us off schedule. We shot ourselves in the foot with a couple penalties and some turnovers, but we thought they were a quality opponent. They made some big plays on us, and the defense stood up a few times and got them stopped. We got to stop turning the ball over and stop lining up off sides and stop throwing the ball away and running backs putting the ball on the ground. But, as a football coach, you tend to dwell on the negative things that happen, and some positive things happened. So we got to go out and take the good with the bad. And it's great to go into a bye week as a program, having won a football game. Now we got an opportunity to fine-tune some things, change some things, throw some things out, maybe get a jump start on the next opponent, and just take it from there. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Norries, I know coaches don't tend to think this way, but just everything that's going on, did you guys look at this as a must-win today?
To a point, yes. Must win because I didn't want to go into a bye week on a 3-game losing streak and everybody hanging their head. We wanted to win the football game to make us feel good going into a bye week and know that we can go out and beat a quality opponent and get ourselves ready for the next opponent.
Norries, as a running back coach, to see the 312 yards in that rushing column, what does that mean for you?
You see the fumble when Hicks put the ball on the ground? It's tough to play in my room. We call it bringing shame to the room, and that's what we call it. So I talked to him about it. 312 yards, it makes you feel good. But, there's things we've got to clean up. We can't do that. We can't put the ball on the ground because the game can change with any turnover. I'm always proud of them. I think they do a good job. And Josh, he feels bad about putting the ball on the ground. And they're selfless with one another. So I'm happy with the production, and hopefully we can continue to do that for the program.
Norries, why do you think that rotation system, giving each guy like a series, why do you think that seems to work so well today? Obviously, that could break up momentum, but obviously it didn't. So why does that work so well?
What I tried to do today was just keep fresh legging them. I give a guy 2 or 3 carries for the most part, and then put a fresh set of legs out there, so you could just hit them hard a couple times, then get out and send another guy back out there. And there was a series where I think I let Josh get 5 or 6 in a row, or I let PJ get 4 or 5 in a row. I think it worked today because we got some good blocking up front, and Coach McDaniels and Coach Browning did a good job scheming up the runs, and we knew how we wanted to hit them. And once we got them rotating one way, we were able to come back the other way. So they did a good job with it, the running backs did. And with me being away from them and me just calling their name and they just take off running, it actually worked out.
Having been around Darius for 4 years, how difficult was this for him to make the decision to not play this year, and what has he meant to the team even when he's not playing?
Darius came in early my first year here, and he's always been outspoken, and he's always had the ability to lead. I'm sure I haven't spoken with him on it personally, but I'm sure it just tears at him. He's always wanted to be out front. He's always the guy to meet the team at the top of the stairs when we go to practice and greet each player and tell them to go out and have a great day. And I'm sure it rips at his heart. But having him on the sideline today, cheering the guys on defense and offense was also fantastic. And I'm happy that he's still around.
With him out, is it important now for other guys to maybe step up in a leadership role?
They have to. They have to lead on the field with their play, and they're going to have to lead in the locker room along with him with their voices. And there has to be positive leadership from them, as it was with him. It has to be positive leadership to drive forward, to drive to get better. It's about team. It's not about me. Those things that he could instill in us, whoever steps up to lead also needs to instill the same way. Yes, sir, Mr. Gentleman.
I just wanted to make sure, do you then expect, I don't know what conversation you've been able to have with him on it, do you expect him to apply for a red shirt and to be back next year?
I don't know any of that. That would be between the medical staff and compliance and Coach Flood. I don't have any idea what any of that would happen.
Coach? Obviously, Today you had both Hicks and Martin rush for over 100 yards, but for Paul James to get in there and get some positive momentum, especially after his 10-carry, 7-yard performance last week against Penn State, runs for 57 yards today. How important is that to your room and that running back group?
It's very important. It's very important for all of them to be on their game and to feel good about themselves. what did he? You know, I'm old and blind. He averaged 6.3 a carry today. Paul did, and Robert averaged 6.0, and Josh averaged 5.4, and that's a good across the board average for the three of them. To know that we can get that from any of the three of them when they go out there, I think it's fantastic, and it makes us confident and more confident in whomever's out there at a given time.
Coach, your overall impression of Chris Laviano's performance?
It was up and down at times. He made a bad decision, and I told him he made a bad decision when he threw the pick in the end zone. Well, he threw two in the end zone, but the one was the Hail Mary, and that happens a bunch on a Hail Mary. But it was an ill-advised throw when he threw it in the back of the end zone on the left. And I just talked briefly about it. You can't have a lot of people talking to the quarterback. I just said, listen, I asked him if it was a good decision or a bad decision, and he said it was a bad decision. And I asked him, could he give us better decisions, and he said yes. And from then on, not that he didn't before that, but after that, he strung together a bunch of good decisions, and we're happy about that.
He did the same thing against Washington State a couple times. A couple throws that he tried to get out of bounds that didn't reach. Is that just part of being a young quarterback, or is there something to worry about with his decision?
I don't think it's something to worry about. It's something that we've got to make sure we instill in him and just keep harping on what he's got to do to get the ball. When you're out of the pocket, just throw the ball past the line of scrimmage, out of bounds. Don't try to throw it through the back. And we just got to keep teaching him. He's a first-time starter, and sometimes guys need a couple looks at making a mistake before they get it right, and hopefully he's got enough looks at making that mistake that we get it right.
Coach, you talked about wanting to run the ball. On the other side, though, it seemed like you did a very good job of stopping them from running.
Well, this morning, before we met, when we met before we came over, we talked about what we had to do to win the football game. And on defense, we talked about the front sevens got to stop the run. Got to limit the big play, got to stop the run. We gave up some big plays, but we had to stop the run. And I think they averaged, they got today 64 yards net on 29 carries. And that's a good day's work against anyone, especially when they had a back and a quarterback that were doing the things they were doing, 6 yards a carry running the football. I hope that young man that got put out of the game, the quarterback, I hope he's going to be okay. You never want to see a young man get hurt. But that might have changed a few things for them and how they plan to attack us. But the defensive line and the linebackers, they did a good job stopping the run.
Coach, back on offense, we talked a little bit last week about Agadosi's effort and his career night at Penn State. Mm-hmm. Comes back today, makes that first catch to put you up 7-0. How important is he to be a target in the red zone and kind of a security blanket for Laviano?
I wouldn't say security blanket. I think it's important for him to be a target in that his play is so good that we know we can go to him. That his play is good, and Patton's play is good, and Grant's play is good. That Chris has just more than one option to throw to. So he's got to keep working on his game, and I'm very happy for him. The first thing I told him was congratulations on the touchdown, and the second thing I told him was make sure you hand the ball to the official. So he's getting better, and he's getting a lot more reps. And Coach Campanile is on him. Coach Campanile is the best coach on the staff. I wish I could coach as good as he does. And he's on his guys, and he demands from them. He was demanding from them at breakfast this morning, still teaching. So Patton and Agadosi, you asked him about Agadosi, he's got to just work and get better. Never be satisfied with where he is. And sometimes kids fall in there and say, hey, I scored a touchdown, I've arrived. And hopefully, I know Coach Campanile is not going to allow that. And he's going to make sure that he's coaching them all through the bye week to continue to get better.
Norries, what do you think was the difference of the pass rush? Seemed like you guys brought a little more pressure today.
Well, I know we caught a few more blitzes. And I think Joe had a good plan. Joe was hunkered down for a long time. And he wanted to stop the run after last week's performance. And he wanted to sack the quarterback a few times after last week's non-sack evening. So he put a good plan together, and they got after him a little bit. Just playing and getting better, that's all we want to do. Just getting after him.
Nothing but just getting better. The secondary performed way better today and has been the past couple of weeks. What can you say about the secondary performance today?
Well, this is what I told Kai Hester. He had his first start today. I said, Kai, this is what you're going to do. You're going to decide what you think the right thing to do is and just go do it full speed. You can't be apprehensive, but anything you do apprehensively, you're going to screw it up. Just pick an assignment and just go. And that's what he did. And He had fun. You know, he dropped two interceptions he could have had, and I joked with him about that on the sideline. I asked him, was he having fun? And he said he was having fun. And if you're out there having fun and you're going as fast as you can go, the only fun in this whole deal is winning on Saturday. The rest of it, we're just grinding into a pile of salt. So we get to have some fun for the night, and then we go to get to see who we're going to see, Pop. We're going to see the Monroe Wolverines play tomorrow. We got half the team sitting up in the back. So I'm going to go see my son play his first game tomorrow. Probably be the only one I get to play this year. Is that the last question? I appreciate everybody here. All right.